Everyone, welcome to another brand new episode of Women of Community Banking podcast. Today we've got Kania with us. Hi, Kania, how are you doing?
Hi, good to see you. Great. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to talk to a fellow New Yorker. It always feels home talking. It's amazing. Again, Kania, thank you. Thank you for your time to catch up with us today and sharing your journey.
Thank you for having me. Looking forward to this conversation.
Quick introduction who Kania is. Kania is the Chief Marketing Officer of Municipal Credit Union based out of New York. She's one of those true blue veterans of credit unions who have spent almost 2.5 decades in credit unions and loves the mission of credit unions, right? Uh, that's pretty much about Kanya. Kanya, if you want to add something which definitely I have missed, please feel free to add.
Thank you so much. I will just add that, yeah, it's been a little over 20 years, 23 years in the credit union industry. I started
Absolutely.
at a local credit union in Long Island and started in the retail side, worked my way up through the through the ranks, as they say. And my last role there was VP of marketing. And so it's been a great journey to see both from servicing members from the front end, but also seeing the back end on how, both things really support the organization and the strategy. But marketing I found it, and it's where I really want to finish the rest of my career.
Absolutely. You are an inspired marketer, right? Like, absolutely. Uh, let's talk about your journey a bit, right? Now, Kanya, your journey to CMO, to the CMO seat, right, at a major credit union in New York. Municipal is one of the larger credit unions in and around the New York state, and obviously, in the city. Would you want to walk us through the pivotal moments that shaped your career, that helped you shape your career path along?
Sure. So the first thing I will share is that I was 10, 11 years in the retail side, and I saw an opportunity at the prior credit union that I used to work at, and I marketing reported under the same retail marketing under the same SVP, if you will, at
Yep.
that time. And I saw that there was no manager at the time, or AVP, I think is what the role was listed as, and it wasn't posted or anything. So I made a phone call and I said, "Hey, what's going on? In marketing, maybe I can go help once a week. I can continue." I was a regional manager at the time. I had 6 locations under me. I said, I could maybe just go in once a week or half a day, and just so that I can learn, be exposed to some of these things, share what I'm hearing from our members from the front
Yep.
line, and see how we can influence the marketing, right? And so his response at that time was, "Wait, we're about to post a position, and I can't believe I didn't think of you. You should definitely apply. We're about to post it. Let me make some phone calls internally," because again, the role didn't report to him directly. There was a VP in the role. "Let me have some conversations." We're in the works of posting the job. The next day he called me. He's like, "It's gonna be posted tomorrow. You should definitely apply. Look at it." And I was like, "Wait, I don't know that I can do this job, that I want this job. Like, I don't even, that wasn't the point of my call. It was more to see how I can continue to grow and learn," which has been, I think, a key value that I have personally, to always constantly be learning. And so, yeah, I applied. I was really nervous because I'm like, what am I getting myself into? I remember I had to be at my desk. So, being a regional, you're on the road, you're visiting locations, you're
Yeah.
talking, right? All of a sudden, I have to be in the office every day. And I remember my boss at the time used to call me at 8:15 every morning. So it was a real transition to learn the back office and the culture, and how all these things come together. But it's been so fun, and as I say, the rest is history. Here I am now, CMO of Municipal Credit Union. I met Kyle, who's the president of Municipal Credit Union, in my last organization. He was the COO at that time, and marketing reported through his areas of responsibility. And so got to know him and his vision and his leadership. And so when he came to Municipal Credit Union to turn the organization around and really drive it to where we're trying to go, where we are, where we're trying to go, I saw this opportunity, and I said, this is something that, when I remember speaking to Kyle and saying, this is an opportunity to be able to look back and
Yep.
look at the legacy and the impact that we're having. And so it's been incredible. So far, it's been a little over 2 years. And so it's an exciting time to be in New York City and to be part of Municipal Credit Union's team.
Absolutely. I mean, now is the time for New York. So you're in the right seat of absolutely. So from that point dovetails into my next question. It's
Sure.
very a New Yorker question, right? I mean, obviously, municipal. I mean, first, you should be very proud of serving the city. That's one. You should be really proud that you serve one of the most dynamic and diverse communities in the world. Not one of the actually the most diverse and
Mhm.
dynamic community in the world, right? So you're playing in that circuit. It's not easy. It's very difficult. And you as a CMO, I think it's a dream job that you have right now, right? My question is, how do you approach marketing in a way, right, that balances the legacy, the credit union legacy, and also keeps in mind the modern member experiences? Because again, New York is a city that people value experiences, people value speed. We don't really care about anything else, right?
Right.
That combining with the stiff competition around plus maintaining the legacy, that's not an easy job. So how do you approach marketing to keep the entire thing in balance?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's three things that come to mind. As
Uh-huh.
you said, we're in New York City. The market is really competitive. There's all major banks are in New York City, right? So that's one. The other thing, as you mentioned, is MCU has been around over 100 years. However, the awareness outside of municipal workers is really low. So we knew that. And third is how do we grow in a cost effective way and have the impact? So, one of the main reasons I came to MCU and one of the things we've been focused on over the last year is to increase our awareness. So, we started a brand strategy where we conducted research both with existing members and non-members in the market. And a lot of what we also did was focus groups to understand, okay, how do we position municipal credit union? As soon as people read that, they're like, well, I'm not that doesn't speak to me because I'm not a municipal worker, right? And
Yeah.
we're very proud to serve all the municipal workers of New York City, right? But we know that there's others that can benefit from the products and services that we have. So one of the things we knew even through the research is that there was nothing negative from our brand, from our name and the perception of the brand, which was really positive. That was the easy part. The hard part was that our brand awareness with the research is 4% outside of municipal workers. Now, when we do it with municipal workers, it's much stronger and it makes sense, right? We've been around for over 100 years. We have over 600,000 members. There's an awareness. Outside of municipal employees, it's 4%. And so that has been our challenge. What we decided to do, knowing that the competition is there and the budgets that we have assigned to us is not quite the same, right? When we compare to other institutions. So we knew we wanted to be stand out. We wanted to be
Yeah.
different. And that's the challenge we took on. And we just recently launched a new campaign called We're Here
Mhm.
for It.
Mhm.
And what it represents is that we're here for New Yorkers and we're here for those moments that New Yorkers really deal with day in and day out.
I think that's what I'm living by because, a strong belief of mine is that you cannot win the game by just pushing in money. You have to win the game by being more strategic, being, I mean, sharing the message in a way that no one is, right? So
Right.
that's what you're doing right now. That's amazing. And I think Municipal having you as a CMO for the last couple of years has gained a lot. And I strongly believe that there are much bigger things that Municipal and you both combined are looking forward to achieve. I mean, and wishing you guys all the best. Uh, Now moving into the next section because I'm a geek, I always geek about data. I'm a
Hmm.
data geek and I strongly believe that tomorrow's marketing is just not billboards. Tomorrow's marketing is performance marketing, right? That is the game that we need to win. So, uh, in light of that, I mean, obviously, it's very wrong to say tomorrow's marketing is not billboard marketing. Absolutely, it is a combination of billboard plus performance marketing in
Right.
that way, right? Yeah. So my question is, in an era, where data almost drives everything, and people interchangeably use AI now, literally for everything,
Yeah.
right? So how do you see leveraging analytics to sharpen both member acquisition and engagement strategies? Because unless
Sure.
your offers are personalized unless you reach out to the exact right set of non-member for acquisition. You're just wasting your dollars, right? And data analytics helps you find the right set of people, and maybe that's for non-members, and for members it helps you find the right set of signals that you need to use, behavioral signals you need to use for improving experience of a member, right? So long question short is, how do you look at or envision leveraging data analytics to sharpen your strategies?
Yeah, so that was one of the things we really leveraged even through this launch of this brand campaign, right?
Yeah.
There are over 8 million people in New York City. I don't have the budget to reach 8 million people. It's just
Yeah.
not possible, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, 8 million people don't all want to bank at an MCU, right? They may have different needs, right?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure we identify. So we took our entire membership and put them into segments, and so we're leveraging third-party data to create these personas and profiles, if you will. And based on that, we were able to say, okay, let's now target lookalike audiences that, we can narrow this 8 million to about 2 million that we want to try to, bring awareness and be part
Yep.
of that consideration set throughout the rest of this year. And so we're leveraging data in that way from a targeting perspective. We also leveraging data to where do we advertise and where do we find those people, right? Because not everyone, yes, some people are on the subway, some people are driving, some people are, listening to digital radio. Is no longer traditional radio, right? We have to take all these things into consideration. And
Yep.
so we wanted to be really strategic in that. And part of our, leveraging this data is combining the data and the segmentations with the messaging that is going to resonate, and
Yep.
then ultimately tracking to see what's working or not working. We are doing A/B testing on campaigns, right? Especially digital helps with that because you get such an instant, more timely response rates, right? Okay, this messaging is working better than this other one, right? And we can do
Yes.
this A/B testing all the way through, and then be able to understand, is it working or not working? Oh, this one works better. Let's serve that ad, right? And so
Yep.
that's how we're leveraging data through this campaign, and it's something that we've really worked hard with our agency partner to be able to move the needle and make sure that we're spending the dollars in the right way.
Yep.
And so that's kind of how we're doing it.
I mean, that's wonderful to hear that you're doing lookalike audiences, finding similar members, using both, I believe, direct mail and digital channels. I think that's the future, right? I mean, unless you do that, again, that's a question to ask ourselves. That should we only do lookalike models, or should we also find out members, non-members who are not a part of our personas right now? Should we find some new set of members? Because unless we do that, I mean, we can't expand our scope, right? That's another important discussion to have.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I mean, we knew that we're leveraging lookalike audiences, but we know that we call them segments 2 and 6. Those are out of the 6 segments that we looked at. Those are the ones that, 2 looks more like it's more of a lookalike audience. And then
Yep.
segment 6, which I know means nothing to anyone listening, but there's different criteria that we've segment our entire membership and then said, okay,
Yes.
we can get more of segment 6. We're already serving a small amount of these members. Let's find more of those, right? And continue
Absolutely.
to diversify ourselves, right? And so that is, you're exactly spot on. I think we want to continue to, how do we continue to serve those that are already coming to us and find more of those? But then how do we diversify our membership? One of the great things that MCU does not have a challenge with, I would say, at this time, which is an issue that a lot of credit unions deal with, is most segments tend to be older. Because we're in a metropolitan area like New York City, our
Yep.
average member's age is 46, right? We know that, which
Yep.
is typically younger than what most credit unions see. They're typically older.
Yep.
So that is a benefit that we have, but we need to continue to attract this younger generation
Yep.
to continue to, as they move through their different life stages and their financial journeys, we can be there for them. And so we really leverage data and look at information for not only from a location perspective, age demographics, right? We append financial, information as well, demographics information, so that we can be more
Yes.
targeted.
I mean, that's spot on, right? Exactly. Your strategies are what it needs to be done at New York. As simple as that, right?
Definitely.
uh, Moving on to messaging, right? I mean, what we talked about. I mean, I'm a huge fan of qualitative plus quantitative. I mean, data can give you the best segment. Data can give you a hyper personalized way of reaching out to whom. But the magic happens when you send the right message. Unless, I mean, you can send me 5 emails, but if that doesn't resonate to me, I'll never be a member, right?
Yeah.
My question is, brand trust is like everything in community banking. It's very, very important. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but one of the large banks I bank with, I mean, I'll give an example, right? There was a fraud that happened on my account a week back, and they told me that they're gonna block the debit card that I use, and they're gonna send the debit card in a day's time. It's been 8 days, I haven't received it yet,
Wow.
right? That's breaking brand trust. I don't want to bank with that large bank. I might want to move my
Right.
salary account or DD to a credit union. I don't care because I need brand trust. The question is that how do you ensure consistency in brand messaging, right? In both physical and digital? Because I mean, we spoke about that.
Yeah.
I saw a billboard in Jersey City versus you doing new digital things across both the city as well as Jersey. So physical and digital is very different because these are two orthogonal, I mean, what I call orthogonal segments, because
Mhm.
I am susceptible to responding to a digital ad versus someone like who stays in Upper East, age at 45, might be more susceptible towards looking at direct mails, right? Hypothetically. So, how do you ensure that the messaging is very consistent across both digital and physical? That's what my questions.
Sure. I think the best way that we are trying to maintain that brand trust is that the experience, and it starts with you either seeing an ad or being part of that consideration set, right? As you move through your journey, that brand trust needs to be there. And I think what it really comes down is to about setting the right expectations. And so part of what we're doing from a marketing perspective is building journeys to whether it's new member onboarding, right? How do we make sure that everyone, whether you went to a branch or you open your account online, that you're experiencing the same things after your account is open, and that you got all the information that you need to be able to do all of your financial needs, right? And so we're following. That's something else that we recently launched. We launched a new member onboarding program to be able to speak to those new members coming in based on the products and services that they already acquire, right? So that we
Yep.
already have so much information about you. So how do we leverage all of this to make sure we continue that journey and support you as you grow as well? So we're balancing some of that with some of these additional supported messaging, if you will, so that we can continue to make sure we deliver on that experience. But as you said, brand trust is everything, and it's super important. We are working, one of the things I'm
Yep.
working to launch right now is a brand ambassador program. I didn't
Yep.
mention that before. So we're launching a brand ambassador program with employees to make sure that they are also understanding how we are evolving the brand, and to make sure that they're delivering that experience the same way. And by the way, to give us feedback, right? To be part of this process, um, because it's two-way. They're closest to the member, right? I could do research, but that takes time, and we do it. But if we can get more instant feedback from our frontline staff to help us improve this experience and build that trust, is where we see. We of course also, the other thing I will add is do a brand study, like a tracking study. Is 2 times a year. So
Yep.
we're measuring the impact that we're having with these campaigns. Is it working? Is it not working? Is it building the brand awareness, which I mentioned is really low? And
Yep.
we want to increase that. So we're putting these things in place to make sure that our messaging, our the way it looks, the way the campaigns look, and the way that they speak to the segments that we're trying to target. So it's an active work, and we constantly have to evolve and make it better.
Absolutely right. Now let's come out from marketing and analytics. We spoke a lot. Let's talk about your journey now. Obviously, your journey hasn't been easy, right? Because you're on the retail side, then you move to the marketing with Bethpage, I mean, with Foldlift now, and then eventually you took up a C-level role at Municipal. It has been a long journey, at least 2.5 decades, right? So, I want to share some unique leadership lessons that you've learned and might be, I would say, helpful for aspiring female leaders?
Sure. I think that the biggest lesson as I look at my journey and look back at my career, if it would be two things. One is if you have a seat at the table, be present, be bold, speak up. I think sometimes we hold back and we just don't have the time to hold back. We are there for a reason. Your voice is value and
Yeah,
you need to leverage it. So that's one thing. I think the other thing that has been helpful for me is, and I mentioned this already, is learning. And so what would happen to me is that opportunities would come up and they would volunteer opportunities. Who's willing to volunteer on this project? Who wants to do this? And,
yeah,
I would constantly raise my hand. Um, and I think that has helped me understand, have a broader perspective around different areas, and that has helped my journey to have marketing impact so many different areas, right? Internally, both externally. And so that has been a way that I have tried to continue to learn by raising my hand to be part of projects. And then once I'm there, if I'm in a project, voice my opinion, really evaluate the contributions that I'm making. And I think that's key. That has been key for me so far.
I understand that's amazing. Uh, Moving on to the next part, and two parting questions. One is uh, about digital transformation. Right now, obviously, most credit unions are wrestling with digital transformation. Now, it has become table stakes. It's no longer a good to have thing. This is basics. Unless you got that, you cannot have a. I mean, I would intentionally say a customer, not a member. You cannot have a customer come and
Mhm.
bank with you, right? So how do you prioritize like innovation while still keeping the community first values intact? Because these are two diagonal opinions, right? You become digitally savvy or you become I mean, you have that human connection. That's a difficult wrestle that's happening. So what do you think uh, is the prioritization right now?
Yeah, I think for us, one of the things that we're doing is a couple of leveraging fintechs or partners, right, that can really support the experience that we want to deliver for
Yep,
our members, right, or consumers as they join the credit union. We
yep,
are focused on growth, and so we want to make sure that how do we identify those vendor partners that can really help us accomplish our strategic goals. And so there's been a number of initiatives that we at the executive level get to set the tone for the company and prioritize, right? Because I think not everything can be done overnight, but we really put business cases together to be able to determine, we put business cases together to be able to make sure that whatever initiative, and it gets presented to the entire executive team
yep.
to prioritize where and how we want to leverage these different partnerships. That's the best way because we have limited resources. And so we have to identify these fintech partners that are really changing the game, if you will. And I think that's where the opportunity really is. We've launched a number of key initiatives already this year. We are in the midst, actually, our team are doing a self pilot right to this week. We launched it for account opening, where we can open accounts under 3 minutes. Like you said, it's table stakes, but we need to keep up with these trends. We
Yeah.
need to, as we look at different partners, when we did an RFP for this project, well, we got to make sure we challenge them and make sure that they're going to take us with them in their journey. Funding mechanisms for accounts, right? It can't just, you can't not just rely on one way, right? And so how are their roadmaps going to support our strategic direction as well? And so it's really doing due diligence through those partners and those processes to make sure that they're the right ones that are going to fuel your the experience that you want to deliver. So that's an example of something that we recently are in the midst of changing and doing. But there's so many. We our focus is on growth. We want to bring in 37,000 new members this year. So far, we're on track to continue to move that forward. And we have to it can't just be the marketing. You have to be able to deliver the experience as soon as they come into the door. Otherwise, they're going to abandon that application if it's online, or they're going to walk out of the office because it's not meeting their needs. So we only get one shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, the cost of acquiring a new member is way higher than the amount of money you spend to retain the member, right? So definitely you need to do the exact right job of. I mean, it can happen that I land to your landing page, but if that experience sucks, if it takes like 8 minutes, I'll never go and complete that. I don't have. We are New Yorkers. We don't have time for that, right? It has to be it has to happen in 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, at max 2 minutes. So I'm really happy to know that it takes less than 3 minutes to open an account. I mean, uh, the benchmark that I follow is 2.5 minutes. Chime, it's so easy, right? You go to Chime, it takes like zoom, done. I have to try opening an account at Municipal to figure out that next.
Yes, you should. We will be launching it in the next month, in the next 2 weeks or so. We just again did the soft pilot launch, so that we can gain some insights and make sure that it's delivering on that experience. So really excited for those types of initiatives that are changing the game. One of the other things that is very frustrating, right? If you go to a bank and you want to apply for a loan, you just apply for the loan. Our experience is because we have to make sure we have things in place that mitigate some of these challenges, right? From a fraud perspective, validating the member, the KYC, so those types of things. And so we still are, where again, this part of this initiative to change the experience is so that you can apply for a loan and then become a member. Today we say
Yeah.
no, become a member, then
No,
apply for the loan.
it
And
doesn't
that's
work.
creating roadblock, right? That's not going to work.
Yeah.
So we're looking to change all of that experience to make sure that we are meeting the consumer where they are and what they need. So
Yeah, that's really important. I think what you're doing right now is what all digital first credit unions are doing, because people don't have time to become members. I mean, at least I don't have time, right? So that's really great. One parting question, Kanya, is about this year, right? So how does 2025 look like for Municipal and as a whole for the credit union ecosystem of New York?
sure. So this year, the key initiatives are focused on growth. So not only growth with existing members that we have and deepening relationships, but also growth from new consumers that we want to
Yep.
attract and to do their financial with Municipal Credit Union. So I already mentioned we want to bring in 37,000 new members. We're on track to meet that goal. We also want to grow deposits, as we know that in order to lend out the dollars, we need the deposits to be able to lend, right? Um,
Basics.
and so that is the other focus. We want to make sure that we're bringing in active and engaged members that are truly bringing their relationship to Municipal Credit Union. So a lot of investment is being put to build that experience. And of course, we cannot forget about loans. We want to do $1 billion in loan this year. We're also on track to meet that goal. And so it's full circle, right? We want to make sure more New Yorkers learn about New York, about Municipal
Yep.
Credit. We want to make sure more people understand what we're trying to do in our communities that we're serving. And we're really focused on having big impacts, right? We launched in 2023 the MCU Foundation. And through this foundation, we really feel we can make real impact. Just last week, we had an event where we gave out 51 scholarships to
Wow.
local inner city high school students, right? That are going to pursue their life through education. Most of them were Black and brown kids, right? And so we really feel like we're making an impact. We partner with the NYC to support this program and be able to fulfill it for us. So it's truly if you really like the energy in the room. I mean, to give out to 50 students, the scholarship just was really inspiring, and it reinforces why we get to do what we do. It's great to grow new members, but it also there's other piece from making sure that we're supporting our communities that we're serving. So we're very, very proud of that.
Absolutely, Kanya. This was great. Again, thank you for your time today. It was an amazing chat, and I look forward to speaking to you more. But again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Kanya.